Here's my review of Zootopia 2. I am very relieved to say that this movie was really good. It has been, I think that this is definitely the best Disney movie since Encanto. And I'm talking strictly Disney animation. Their best movie since Encanto. I don't think it's as good as Encanto, and I don't think that this movie is as good as the first movie, but I still think that this is still a very good movie. And what really just makes both these movies work is, I think, really two main reasons. Number one are just the world of Zootopia is so fascinating. Like all these animals and just the little like things that exist and what are used for each animal in order for them to live in their day-to-day life. And just our characters of Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps. They're just so much fun and they have such a great dynamic together. And they're just constantly so entertaining. And I just found this movie to be an absolute blast. And let's just start off with the obvious. I mean, one thing, of course, you have to say about almost every single Disney animation movie or Pixar movie is like animation is just absolutely incredible. There's so many beautiful shots in this movie. It's so good. And just the dynamic and plot here is very fascinating because I didn't think that the mystery of this movie was as compelling as the first with like all the missing mammal cases of the first movie. But with this, we see that there is a reptile in Zootopia. And we see that he's like a suspect of a crime. And we don't, it's one of those things where you think back to the first Zootopia, you're like, oh yeah, there are no reptiles, there are no amphibians. And it's something that's like, it's done like because you're so just engrossed in the world, you kind of forget. But it was just done so well here. And the reptile and the snake here is voiced by Ki Kwan, and he is so good. I mean, he has such a cute and innocent voice. It just works for this character. And there's like so many scenes where like his voice acting is just so great. I thought it was just fantastic. And one thing that's also really fun about this movie is like the whole like the crime family of the Lynxes is just really fascinating. And you hear like you get to just learn more about Zootopia. You learn how this crime family has been around for a long time, how they set up, or at least they claim how they set up Zootopia and how animals can all live in harmony. And there's just so much lore to it. And of course, like there's obvious metaphors, of course, like whether it's persecution of colonialism. And there's a lot of stuff that's just very fascinating in this movie. And it's all done in a way that I think is done maturely and not like disrespecting stuff like that, but also done in a very compelling way where kids can really enjoy this movie too. And of course, this movie is for kids, but I'm saying there's still a lot of stuff that adults can enjoy as well. And this movie is definitely very funny. I remember I went into this movie, like I heard people say this, like genuinely one of the funniest movies of the year. It's not, but and there's still constant jokes that are laugh out loud hilarious. I really love this beaver character. She was so funny. I thought that she was just absolutely great. And just exploring like the marshland part of Zootopia. That's one thing that I just loved about this movie was just exploring all these different worlds. And you finally get to see like Sahara Square. You get to see more of the desert area. And when you learn about this whole secret reptile room where all the reptiles stay, the marshland, every single scene in every single place we go, it feels like we're just on an adventure. Like when we see the club in like the part of town where all the reptiles live, just excluded from the rest of the mammals, it's just so fascinating. And it does kind of bring up kind of a dynamic because there's a scene in this movie where Judy and Nick are forced to eat worms, which is what the reptiles eat. And it's still like, I mean, they're still kind of anthropomorphic too. So it just kind of makes like the scene, it's gross, but also even more funny because of how dark it is. Because they're like, no, please. It's like, wow. But just the main mystery, like I said, the main mystery of this movie, I just didn't think was as compelling as the first. With us hearing, like, finding out about these climate walls on how every like and how the lynxes built the climate walls, or so like I said, so they claim. And with the main twist here of being that is not what happened. It was actually Gary's great great grandfather who Gary the snake, his great great grandfather who had the ideas of the climate walls, and the lynxes stole credit. And that was just a very, I thought it was a good twist. Like it was a good twist feeling, seeing how like obviously like the one lynx pretends to be good, like oh the rest of his family is a mob boss, but I'm the good one. You could kind of see it coming of how he was just lying the whole time. But I still found this, even though like the twist was kind of predictable, it does, it still think it's a quite a good one. And if we're also just talking about some of the minor side characters, like Dr. Fuzby, who's voiced by Quintessa Brusen, she's great in this movie as well for the short amount of time that she's in it. And she's also very funny. And like I said, this movie is just, it does a great job of just having consistent jokes, especially also with the new mayor, who's obviously a parody of Arnold Schwarzenegger, voiced by Patrick Warburton. He's so great. So overall, I think that this was definitely one of Disney's best movies. I just love the ending of them exposing the Lynx's corruption. It just was constantly filled with twists and turns, and every like 5-10 minutes there was just like a new really fun characters. Like I said, I really enjoyed the beaver character, and just the whole world just was so fascinating. And it was like I would love to see a Zootopia 3 and 4, etc. Because it's like each time we went and met new characters, they're all so fascinating. Seeing the new world, seeing how they live, and of course the ending teases birds. That could be very fascinating as well. Hey, we haven't even seen amphibians yet. And there's just so much to this world that is just so great. Like I said, I don't think that the plot and story is as good as the first one. I didn't find that to be as compelling or have that emotional connection that I did with the first one when like with the Predator storyline. But this movie is still really good. It still has a really great comedy, really good message, and it's just a really fun movie. The story's compelling, the characters are really funny, and it's just exactly what you want out of a Disney movie.